Nothing useful here. I forgot to ink the stamp. I forgot to ink the stamp. Impossible. Nothing. An old sponge. It's all dried out. It doesn't work. Impossible. I forgot to ink the stamp. An old sponge. It's all dried out. I have to find a way to attach the stamp or it'll fall out again. No way. Stamps. But not one is the right shape, of course. A checkpoint for the municipal employees.
Great ostriches always need lots of attention. Lots. So that's the famous lake that won't freeze anymore.
Miss Walker. Very happy to finally catch up with you.
Mr. Canton, what on earth do you want?
To take you back home, whether you like it or not. Come on, give me your hands, please. Did you understand anything that I asked you?
Mr. Canton, I don't know how much the people who hired you promised for delivering me to them. But if it's only a question of money, maybe...
Stop right there, Miss Walker. You're being a tad insulting. Listen, my professional integrity has never been in doubt in over 20 years of work. Come on, wrists out. Mr. Marston? Finally, I have her. Yes, she is safe and sound. I have Miss Walker under control. I'll keep you informed of our progress. It'll take a day or two at most. I suppose there are a few procedural obstacles to overcome before we can leave the country.
Listen, all these things I'm accused of are completely untrue. Hans's murder, embezzlement, it's nonsense. And while we're wasting time here, I can't help the Ukels. And believe me, they really need it.
I am not your enemy, Miss Walker. If you haven't done anything like you say, it's in your interest to go back and defend yourself in court. There's nothing left for you to do here anyway. Not everyone here is your friend in these parts, I'm afraid.
Nothing personal, you understand, Mr. Canton. But I'm not leaving with you. There's no way.
I don't think you really have a choice.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Help! Help! Help me!
My God, Miss Walker! Shut up, will you? Don't make me gag you.
Good luck, Mr. Detective.
God, I don't believe it! Yes, yes, I thought I heard someone shouting too. No, it didn't come from here. More like the other side. Over there. Follow me.
Quick! I have to get free and get out of here while Canton is busy. Useless. That's no use to me. It didn't break. God, I need to find something else. I could get hurt seeing how big it is. Too far. Free at last. All right, let's get out of here before Canton comes back. I was just calling you for help. Why didn't you come? You are police officers, aren't you?
I have my orders, and they're not to intervene in the affairs of the American detective. The order came from up high, you know. And besides, my officially designated duty here is to make sure that only people with a proper pass may have access to the town. The rest isn't one of my official assignments, miss.
I see. Your spirit of initiative does you proud. I'd still like to go back to Valsambor now.
Without a pass, you shall not pass. No pass, no visit to Val... Miss Walker! No, wait! I have an arrest warrant for this woman. Arrest her! My pass! Give it back to me! Immediately, you hear?
Believe me, it's a really good thing that the nomads can't just come and go around Valsambor as they please anymore.
My squid is absolutely fresh, miss. Listen, miss, it's fresh.
Things are heating up for Mayor Bulyakin.
That big boat, the Crystal, it's been rotting at the dock for years.
We're going to see the nomad souk. Apparently they have good prices.
Since the town hall closed the port, we sometimes get the impression we're living in a ghost town.
there. Anything biting?
As if. 20 years there's been fewer fish, but sometimes you can get lucky. Go figure. It's really odd.
You seem to know the region well. Maybe you can fill me in a bit. I'd like to know a little bit more about the local legend. I was told that there's a monster down there, living at the bottom of the lake.
It's not a legend.
And how can you be so sure?
Back when, the lake froze over earlier in the season. People would go out and make holes in the ice in the middle of the lake, then fish like that. Sometimes they would even set up these cabins for the winter next to the hole. The old folk always said you should only cut a small hole, just wide enough so the fish could be pulled through when you landed them. No more than that. One day, this guy who was kind of odd cut a really big hole. To make it easier, he said. In case he caught a really big one. You don't have to believe me, but he's the one who went into the hole. Backwards. Into the depths. In less time than it takes to say it, the monster's arm came through the hole, then dragged the poor guy down to the bottom of the lake. That's why the old folks say never make a big hole in the ice, because of the monster that lurks below.
And how do you know all that?
Because the poor guy was my older brother. And I was fishing just next to him that day. So you think what you want. You have a good day, miss.
Are you okay, sir? One more step and you were in the drink.
R-E-N-O.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud crystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, Taylor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, Sailor. You understand? Bastards waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on. Back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
Given the number of seats, this must be some kind of ferry, some kind of transport. As deserted as the outside. Hello? Anyone here? Everything seems to still be working. Strange for a boat to be left like this, unwatched. Everything seems to still be working. Strange for a boat to be left like this, unwatched. Nobody. Nobody. Given the number of seats, this must be some kind of ferry, some kind of transport. The crystal. Isn't that the boat that the drunk in the port was talking about earlier? The crystal. Isn't that the boat that the drunk in the port was talking about earlier? As deserted as the outside. It looks like it needs repairs. Too bad. As deserted as the outside.
I'd rather be left here on my own if you don't mind, miss.
Someone stole 3 chickens.
Excuse me, please, miss.
Yes?
I'm looking for Simon Steiners.
Simon Steiner is my grandfather. My name is Sarah. Sarah Steiner.
Pleased to meet you, Sarah. I'm Kate Walker. Can you tell me where I can find your grandfather's workshop?
Of course. You'll find his shop is at the end of the alleyway, on the left, just as you leave it, in the main avenue. Can I ask what you want with him? Because he's rather old, you know.
I'm accompanying the Ugal caravan. Apparently your grandfather is supposed to be making a mechanical prosthesis for Kirk, their spiritual chief, who had a bad accident recently. Without the artificial leg, Kirk won't be able to go along with the great migration of his people. And on top of that, the Ugals won't leave without their guide.
You're accompanying the Ugals? My god, you're so terribly lucky. When I was little, Grandfather used to tell me all about their adventures, full of mystery and magic.
Do you like life in Valsambor?
Oh, there's really not that much to talk about here, you know. I spend all my time here or with Grandfather since he got sick.
There was no one who could keep an eye on him for you?
We can't afford it, I'm afraid. I also think I prefer it this way. My grandfather is my only family.
I guess you're pretty close to your grandfather?
Yes. Of course he can get a bit grumpy, especially the last few years. But he's actually really adorable, and you should see the work he does. Give him a few cogs and springs, and he'll give you some unbelievably incredible invention. He almost makes mechanical objects seem alive.
I see exactly what you mean. I used to know someone like that too.
The only problem we have is that business collapsed when he got sick. I really do believe that if I didn't have the waitressing jobs to make ends meet, we'd probably have to close up shop.
You seem to like the Ugal, Sarah. I get the impression that's rare in Valsambor.
It's true that when it comes to the Ugals, people around here can be a bit silly. They go out of their way to make the nomads scapegoats for all of the town's problems since they got stuck here.
But you don't, do you?
Of course not. Grandfather told me that he has actually seen 3 or 4 of the great ostrich migrations in his lifetime, and he always really respected those strange people. He even made sure I would admire them too, you know.
Thank you for your help.
I'll be stopping in to see Grandfather on my next break. Maybe I'll see you there.
Yes, I hope so. Goodbye, Sarah.
Ah, miss, delighted to see that you finally managed to leave the Yukol camp.
Yes, thank you very much for the pass.
Well, now that you're at last here, you'll be able to taste my famous borscht.
It would be my pleasure, but I do have to find Steiner the clockmaker right away.
Simon Steiner? Ah, in that case, you should speak with Sarah, our young waitress. She's his granddaughter.
I met that man recently. A certain Captain Obo. He doesn't seem very with it.
And he's been that way for 20 years, miss. 20 years. Can you imagine? He used to command the Crystal, the boat that made the crossing between here and the amusement park, on the other side of the lake. And he wasn't the same man then.
Is Simon Steiner well known here in Valsambor?
For a long time, he was rather popular. You know, he isn't just a clockmaker. He knows everything about mechanical objects. He repaired everything for everybody here in Valsambor. He also designed the amusement park on the other side of the lake with a colleague of his, a French automaton creator, if I remember right. You could say Valsambor owes a lot to Simon Steiner, miss. So when he got sick, I offered to hire Sarah to help a little. You understand?
I'm off. Thank you again for your help.
See you soon, miss.
lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it. The crystal. Take across. More travelers ever than any other ferry from Valsenborg.
It's been hard to sell our produce since the port closed. And now those nomads show up and undercut us.
We're pretty lucky with all we've been through. At least we've still got places like this.
All those youngsters trying to act smart to impress the Steiner girl. It really gets to me.
I'd really suggest you steer well clear of Captain Oboe, miss. He's always basically drunk as a skunk. He's not only a total drunk, he's also the disgrace of the town. I'd really suggest you steer well clear of Captain Oboe, miss. He's always basically drunk as a skunk.
A tavern.
Lost your way, pretty girl? If you need someone to follow you around town, just ask. Lost your way, pretty girl?
Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Yukal spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker?
What? Are you calling me a thief, Mr. Steiner? I haven't stolen anything from anyone. This is all I have left of my friend Oscar. Give it back to me right now.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from. Well, I'm waiting for any sort of credible explanation, Miss Walker.
Mr. Steiner, Oscar was a very special automaton. He inspired almost human emotions. But today he doesn't exist. He isn't dead, of course. Because what has never lived cannot die. Oscar was just dismantled. It had to be like that. All that I have left of him is that heart. A heart made of metal.
It's far more than just a heart, miss. It's far more like a kind of mechanical hard drive. A computer that is full of cogs, gears, and springs, but...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication. Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away. No medication in sight. Empty.
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
Fantastic. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. Nothing that could help him. No medication. nothing that could help him.
My heart. I need my medication. Quickly.
All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. It doesn't work. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. Empty. No medication in sight.
So, you would abandon me to my fate?
No medication in sight.
Look at me. Are you satisfied? I just can't handle any aggravation anymore. Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly. If, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Yukels. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Yukels.
You'd do that, Mr. Steiner? That would really be a great help.
So, perfect. But dear Miss Walker, are you aware of what lies in store for the nomads when they reach the other side of the lake?
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor cursed town of Baranor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration. Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baranor.
A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner."
When you found the old film reel, run it through the spool on the projector.
Steiner wanted to show me something. I should go back and see him first. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while.
reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Baltimore is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing winds, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to such a catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and stretcher bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, Nishtvar. The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Baltimore, where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zemutine's clinic. The Crystal, the ferry usually responsible for linking the towns of Baltimore and Baranor every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the trauma, and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who... Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you.